أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البلد الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Shodomo, where we speak truth to power. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law I say, I detect sunrise and sundown. Him I go dear like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his season. Him live never I go wither, and whatsoever him do shall prosper. Yea, the heathen them now they sow. Them they like a chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn upon judgment of the sinner man them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah, love the way of the righteous and the way of the sinner man them, always and always, I will perish. Let the people of the Most High God say, Joe! This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodamu, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. In every traditional African home, there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking, ingredients of so many different types, shapes, and sizes. Put aside all their differences, relegating all these differences to the background and relocating into the black pot. They are subjected to some amount of heating, and they produce some sumptuous, nutritious food. Now, they do not even partake in the eating of the food. It is us, the eaters, who do. Yet every time, so selflessly, the black pot and the ingredients will collaborate to make food. How many of us will tell ourselves, it's time to eat it all. After all, tomorrow we die. How many of us will say, oh, I am not going to embark on this after all. I will not live long enough to benefit from the work that I'm putting in. Are we generational thinkers? If you think generationally for just 1 year, then plant corn. And if you think generationally for just 10 years, plant trees. Now, if you want to have a legacy that lasts forever, then you must invest and plant human beings. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we would only just criticize to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. Remember, we are live on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is called Black Empire Media, and Black is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Please subscribe to the channel and click on the notification button so that anytime we come on live, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. sharp Ghana time, you would be the first person to see us. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And remember to keep your messages coming in. Yes, it's going to last 60 minutes and we are done. We shall read your messages. Remember, we are also supported by ISIT, I-S-I-T, which simply means in spirit, in truth. Now, if your regular social media platform is nothing but negative, bringing you nothing but negativity, violence, nudity, and even racism, why do you continue being on this platform? Leave it out and latch on to ISIT. Now, ISIT is 100% positive. You can go live. You can make audio and video calls. You can also, push out your photographs and videos. Yes, upload them and push your brand to the extreme points. The furthest point your talent can take you. You would achieve that on ISIT. Download that from Google Play and App Store. Yes, the app is very easy to download. This app has been modeled by Ghanaian engineers in America. Another reason you should be supporting Is It. Is It simply means in spirit, in truth. Make connections with family and friends and make memories that will last forever. This is the Blackboard and I am on Is It. Are you on Is It too? This is where we speak truth to power. And today we have a number of issues I need us to look at. I need you to come along. Number one, watch it. And what does it say? Victor Kusi Boateng, criminal on the pulpit. Victor Kusi Boateng, criminal on the pulpit. I went to the same school at Tia Amade Secondary School, Kumasi, with this man. He was 2 years ahead of me. He was a man who was quite prayerful. We were told he came from a very humble background, so he spent all his time in humility and in prayer. I was surprised to get to hear that he was embroiled in some kind of criminality. When I went to Zimbabwe, I've told this story several times, and people got to know that I was coming from Ghana. 90% of all the people who asked me about Ghana, apart from talking about Kwame Nkrumah, this was the other person they were talking about. Prophet Victor Kusi Boateng. I didn't know him at that time. In fact, so when I returned home, I decided to research into him. And I realized that I went to the same school with him. And I realized that, oh, when he was in school, there was a name we called him. Oh, now he has a different name. Oh, that's it. Normally in school, you have nicknames and all that, and school names. My brother, my sister, it took the dirty National Cathedral, the demonic National Cathedral, and Blakk, the MP for North Tongue, to reveal the true character of this charlatan, Victor Kusi Boateng. Blakk was researching and investigating the demonic cathedral. The President of the Republic of Ghana promised God in his own privacy that, oh God, if you let me win the elections and become president, I shall build you a house. He won the elections. We all saw him running to Israel, kneeling down in front of the Wailing Wall, crying to God. Well, God heard his prayer. I am sure it wasn't God who heard his prayer. It was Satan who heard his prayer and pushed him. You know, Satan can do that sometimes. He became president and he wanted to build a house for God. He ended up trying to build a house for Satan. He promised God in his own privacy. All of a sudden, he wanted Ghanaians to pay for the promise he personally made to God. Such a guy. Blakk went into it. Ghanaians started crying. COVID-19 came in. When people were dying, he was still bent on building that demonic house for God. And it came out that even the secretary of the trustee board was corrupt. He had 2 different names, 2 different mothers, 2 different TIN numbers. I'm talking about tax identification numbers. And everyone is supposed to have one. But he had 2 different identities, and also had 2 different mothers. This guy called Victor Kusi Boateng, when the matter came up, Blakk went deep into his investigations and realized that there was even more to just those 2 names. He realized that Victor Kusi Boateng is a charlatan on the pulpit who made so much money engaging in so many other dirty businesses. And because he had been supported by the nation, that's the president in power, who sees him as a holy man of God, and he guides him towards God, they push contracts to him, including some COVID-19 contracts, to provide some PPVs. We're taking you through a background of this man. When this thing started coming out, Victor Kusi Boateng got so angry and decided to run to the court and ask the court to stop Honorable Blakk from revealing so much about him, because he was putting his life in danger, or better still, in harm's way. They started on a criminal note. The court bailiff who brought the summons to Blakk did not go to the Parliament House where his office is, but rather went to a radio station where Blakk was granting an interview. And when he gave him the court summons, he threw that on the floor and trampled on that and told him, don't you know my office? I'm an MP. I can't run. Why are you coming here? Later, when investigation started, it was realized that it was even a fake bailiff that was hired to bring court documents to Blakk. The matter went on, and today we have more. But before, Victor Kusi Boateng was in his church in Kumasi and told all the church members, when your papa is up there, you all are happy, see him making name. But when demons start fighting him, you don't understand. How can your papa rise to the top without fighting the demons in the air? This was what he said. And he added that he will get through all these things clean. It means he was without fault. But the court thinks otherwise. Watch the story. Blakk versus Kusi Boateng. Court confirms list of companies registered under Kusi Boateng and Edu Jemfi. 2 different identities, 1 man. Come here. 1 man with 2 different mothers. 1 man with 2 different dates of birth. 1 man with several companies under his name. What a dirty criminal. Run the vibe. He says what? The member of parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto Blakk, in his quest to prove that secretary to the board of trustees of the National Cathedral of Ghana, Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng, is operating a dual identity for criminal purposes, released some documents that showed the identities the pastor was involved with in February 2023. The said documents were part of an 85-page affidavit filed by Blakk's lawyers in opposition to the contempt application filed against him by Reverend Kusi Boateng in the High Court in Ghana. The lawyers listed 8 companies that were registered under the name, 1 name, Edu Jemfi, with the office of the Registrar of Companies, and another 8 under the name Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. In other words, 16 companies, 8 apart for 2 dual criminal entities, yet 1 man. The court in its ruling stated that there is evidence that the name Kusi Boateng and Edu Jemfi were used to register different companies. Again, the applicant, who describes himself as Kwabena Edu Jemfi alias Victor Kusi Boateng, has been involved in the registration of a number of companies using the name Kwabena Edu Jemfi as shown. Number 1, he has Dunamis Insurance Brokers Limited, incorporated on the 16th of January 2023 to provide insurance brokerage services amongst others. 2, Lloyd's General and Risk Limited, incorporated to provide insurance brokerage and consultancy services. 3rd one, New Ware FM Limited, New Ware, incorporated on the 9th of December 2021 to operate a radio FM station. D, or number 4, Great Speed Engineering and Construction Limited, incorporated on the 19th of April 2021 to provide road and building construction services amongst others. 5, the 4Bs Company Limited, incorporated on 21st of October 2020 to provide road construction services. 6, Anibis Petroleum Limited, incorporated on the 21st of October 2020 to provide road construction services. G, El Dunamis Limited, incorporated on the 19th of May 2009 as a general merchant to import and export general goods. And my brother, it goes on and on and on. JNS Talent Center, and the court notes that the applicant who says he is Kwabena Edu Jemfi and that Victor Kusi Boateng is an alliance has been involved in the registration of at least 8 companies registered at the office of the Registrar of Companies with the name Victor Kusi Boateng as evidenced. Vibrant Generation Chapel Worldwide, Dunamis Chapel worldwide. National Cathedral of Ghana, incorporated on the 18th of July 2019 to own the assets of the National Cathedral of Ghana. The El Dunamis Media Limited, incorporated on the 14th of January 2019 to provide media services. On Point Laundry Limited, Harris Football Academy, Harris Consortium Limited, Duna Media Production, Duna Media Production. All these are companies registered by one man who has dualized himself. He's Victor Kusi Boateng and Kwabena Edu Jemfi. Such a dirty criminal. Very dirty criminal. Dirty criminal. This is the man who hears the voice of God. This is the man who is leading people to God. Yet he is not even ashamed to cheat and steal from the people of Ghana. My brother, these are the charlatans who stand on the pulpit. And because they have a gift of prophecy, people see them as demigods. These are the people whose children would one day meet some of us and say, oh, Papa and Bobra, your father could not even build a house because their fathers were cheats and robbers and thieves who stole from the people. What should have gone to the fathers and Bobra no? Never went to them because of such cheats and thieves. It hurts me. A man of God, renowned all over. You go to Zimbabwe, he has sons who are billionaires. Some of them are even involved in criminality, as exposed by Al Jazeera recently. My brother, can we trust the so-called men of God again? This is one man who has two different identities. And he's lying that the other one is an alias. When he has registered 8 different companies apiece. So you register 8 companies using an alias and use another one for your real name. And to make it worse, this man here, standing here, is somebody who has been authenticated by the government of Ghana. He is the secretary of the demonic cathedral that dirty Nana Akufo-Addo and his ilk in power are building. People we have trusted and given power to. These are the people killing us. How many people are going to remain in this man's church? Religion is the opium of the people. They will still run to the church. He will tell them more lies and they will believe. After all, he hears the voice of God. All he needs is to give them one prophecy and that's it. These days people go to church for prophecy and for miracles. Not to go to church and stick closer to God and be able to look for a better future. What is better than serving the people of your country if you claim that you are a man of God? My brother, if you truly love God, loving God is equivalent to service to mankind. If a man is hungry and you give him food, you have served God. I prefer a man who would walk on the street and feed street children to a man who goes to church every Sunday and keeps his wealth in his bedroom. That's what this guy is doing. A dirty criminal. Very dirty criminal. How many more such criminals do we have in the system? 2 things. Every person by law is supposed to have just one. Unless you are a dirty criminal like Victor Kusi Boateng, who wants to dualize yourself and steal from all sides. A man of God. Look at the businesses he has registered. I do not have a problem with your businesses. Politicians are feeding him. They are back passing a lot of contracts to him because of his connection with the president and the people in power. And the people will still go to his church and sit down and want to hear from him. How can such a man take you to heaven? Hey, Victor Kusi Boateng, come here. Bring the other photo. Victor Kusi Boateng, you have disgraced yourself. You have disgraced your church. You have disgraced men of God. Shame on you. At the time that those things were coming out, you could have been honest enough to say that, yes, it's true. I made a mistake. I am ready to face the law. You would have kept a little bit of respect for yourself. But you went deceiving your church that you come out of this clean. And that, oh, you have not done anything wrong. You are a thief, you this guy. God will punish you. You have disgraced Christians and you have disgraced the people of God. Because of you, some people are going to stop being Christians today. Because of you, some people will leave your church and go to Kwekufri. Because of you, some people will convert from Christianity to others and the curse will come on your bald head. Dash! The people who are supposed to be leading us to God, they are all disappointing us. And if you have a dirty president sitting in there, then these charlatans will pass through him and rob the whole nation. Diplomacy is dead on this show. We are not diplomats. We speak truth to power. Dash and come here. Next story. Next story says what? Ghana diplomatic passport, now toilet paper. Do you have a Ghanaian diplomatic passport? It's a toilet paper. You know why it's a toilet paper? Do you know why? The man that we just talked about, Kusi Boateng, flash his photo. The same Victor Kusi Boateng here, the president of the republic and the presidency, the powerhouse of the nation, they knew that this guy had a dual identity, yet they did not care. They knew that he was bordering his activities on criminality, but the government didn't care. They still gave him a diplomatic passport. What is a diplomatic passport? A diplomatic passport is issued by a nation to diplomats representing the nation. That's why it is called diplomatic passport, not loyalty passport, not patriotic passport, even though it plays around loyalty and patriotism. This guy, he got a diplomatic passport. For what? For what? Because he was helping the president to rob the people of Ghana by building a cathedral, forcing people to pay money to build that dirty cathedral. That's why he gave you a diplomatic passport. Such charlatans in power. Can you believe that? Under the watch of this dirty government, 9 little children at Fana drowned because they were going to school in a dirty canoe. The canoe sank. The canoe was operated by an 11-year-old boy. Can you believe that? All the children went down. Only 2 survived. The boatman himself, because he could swim, and another person. But as it stands right now, they have lost it. Psychologically, they are down. Post whatever trauma they are going through. The nation has not even sent psychologists to take care of these people. Yet you have money to give to these charlatans to travel outside the country and raise money to build a demonic cathedral. Do you think posterity will judge you with a bouquet of flowers in your hands? They have given the man a diplomatic passport. There are other so-called men of God, bishops and archbishops, who all hold diplomatic passports. Come here. Are they diplomats? What are they doing to help the nation grow? How can we prove that the government knew that this guy was a criminal, yet decided to give him a diplomatic passport? Give me the communique from the presidency. On their letterhead, you will see what they gave to us. Watch this. Come here, let's read it properly. What does it say? Not office of the president. Is that not office of the president? And what is it saying? Watch it. They are giving it to Kwabena Edujemfi, alias, or AKA, also known as Victor Kusi Boateng. 2 different names. Did they go there to find out if these 2 names were registered or not? He had different documents bearing these 2 names. 2 different things. 2 different mothers. 2 different date of births. One in 1969, the other one in 1971. Yet the government of Ghana with no intelligence. How can you be an intelligent nation when your Minister of National Security is modeling in front of a prostitute's camera when he should have been on national duty? We paid him and took him on a national assignment. I'm talking about Kandapa, Minister of National Security. And instead of securing our nation, he went there looking for a prostitute to bang. And it was all over in the media. It was so embarrassing. This is their work. They allowed this charlatan to pass through. And they gave him a diplomatic passport. Today, the Ghanaian diplomatic passport is an embarrassment in the hand of everybody who has one. Can you believe that? Even a Blakk himself, who has a diplomatic passport by virtue of the fact that he was a minister of state, they wanted to take it back. They said he did not deserve to have one. Who really should hold a diplomatic passport? Is it men of God and women of God? Should we not first and foremost look at how patriotic people are? Look at their track record. Should they not go through a certain vetting by a great group or team of people who will sit down and assess them well and investigate their backgrounds before they give them this? Today, the Ghana diplomatic passport is a toilet paper. Any charlatan can get it. It has no use. It's a useless toilet paper. Oh my God, that is in the hands of people. If I were you Ghanaians, any one of you with that diplomatic passport, trash it in the toilet and flush it. Dash. Come here. My brother, my sister, is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushunomo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. But remember to send your messages in. We shall read them. Hey! Wayo!
Blakk Pot, Kukushonomo.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And remember, here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, we would only criticize on one condition: to build and not to destroy. It's all about our motherland. Nobody is bigger than the truth. We have tried diplomacy, it broke down. Right now, it's time to speak to them in their faces. If you love Ghana, this is your show. If you love Africa, this is your show. If you believe that nobody is bigger than the truth, this is your show. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. But my brother, make sure that you share this broadcast so many other people can watch it. We have over 100 people watching us right now on YouTube alone. This is the show you've been waiting for. Next story. Minister stolen cash exposes corrupt government. Hey, I am shocked. Today I am crying. Hey, there's a minister called Abnadapa. This is the woman. How many of us know this woman? She was supposed to be the Minister of Aviation years back. This was the woman who exposed British Airways to us and told us that the British Airways planes that were coming from Britain to Ghana were infested with bed bugs and cockroaches, and that they were rickety. In other words, and she spoke the truth. In fact, I started to admire her from that point when she was aviation minister or something like that. I remember she threatened that British Airways will be stopped from operating in Ghana after several years of being in this country and never doing anything in terms of social responsibilities to help with the Ghanaian society. I remember she went ahead to say that the British Airways had never even donated one bicycle or one toy to any child in Ghana, yet they had operated in this country for over 50 years. I fell in love with her. She said she had given British Airways some period of time. I think at the time they said 30 days. And if after 30 days British Airways did not reason with them, they would stop them from operating in this country. How can you bring cockroach and bedbug infested planes to Ghana? Rickety planes. And I sat in a British plane, British Airways plane, when I was coming from America. And I witnessed some of these things. Cockroaches were having a party on the British Airways planes. It was a double-decker plane. I don't know how they technically call it. And when it was taking off, it was like the wings were about to break off. And I don't even like flying. I fear flying. That day, I started writing my will. Because I didn't believe that I would come to Ghana alive. And on the same plane was Chatuchi Kata. I've told this story again and again. This woman was the one who blew the story. And I saw her as a conscious minister. After the 30 days, when I called her, I had the shock of my life. I called Abena Dapa and asked, Mommy, it looks like the 30 days are over. It's about 60 days now. The British Airways thing. How far are you going to have as your office taking a decision? Please. When we take a decision, we'll let you know. I was shocked that this arrogant woman was talking to me like that. What makes you think you can talk to me like that? Because we have given you power to help the nation go somewhere. You think you have the effrontery to talk to me like that? You must be crazy. When we give power to some people, they see themselves as demigods. Because people go to them begging them for peanuts. You won't find me there. I would prefer dying to go into these charlatans to ask them for anything. The people who feed me are the ghetto people. The people who feed me are the street people. They are those who believe in the movement. Not these ones. These ones see us as threats to their wealth. But today she has been exposed. She has been exposed. And she's trending all over Ghana. She has embarrassed the Nana Akufo government. Exposed this government as one of the most corrupt, useless regimes we have had in this nation. Baumia, you see your end. Baumia, you see your end. Look. Run the story. 2 house helps allegedly steal, listen, $1 million American dollars. Listen, 2 house helps. 300,000 euros and millions of cedis from sanitation minister's home, not a bank. And this is they telling the court this. And this is the woman. The same woman who talked about British Airways. You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. Run the story, my youth. It says $1 million US, 300,000 euro stolen from Cecilia Dapa's home at Abelengpe. Court told. Run the story. 2 house helps, 18-year-old Patience Botry and 30-year-old Sarah Ajay are currently facing charges before an Accra Circuit Court for their alleged involvement in the theft of significant sums of money and personal belongings belonging to Cecilia Abena Dapa, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, and her husband, Daniel Osei Kufuor. According to a report by the Chronicle, the thefts, which amount to millions of Ghana cedis, reportedly took place at the couple's residence in Abelenkwe, a suburb of Accra, between July and October 2022, just last year. The accused, Patience and Sarah, are facing 1 count of conspiracy to commit a crime and 5 counts of stealing involving amounts of $1 million American dollars. Where is that woman who said she wanted $1 million American dollars, and that was why she was in politics in Mahama's era? And that once she got that money, she didn't care about anything. She would have been fulfilled. Mahama felt so embarrassed and sacked her. I think she was called Victoria something. Victoria, find me a photograph. Make sure you find me one that has all her curves in there. In Mahama's regime, most of them went after curves, not brains. Mahama was seen as a man who ran after skirts. Mahama was seen as a man who was weak when it came to women. But the good thing was that we didn't hear that much, that Mahama was stealing money and giving to skirts. The good thing was that we didn't hear that there were females in his government that loaded money in their homes as much as Cecilia Dapa has done. We all remember Victoria Lakshmi. The same Victoria Hammer, that's the name, Victoria Hammer, who accused her driver of stealing money from her, and it ended up at the police station. But that was peanuts as compared to this. When you follow big buttocks without brains, that is where you end. When you follow men with just beard and muscles and you don't look at the brain, you will end up in the ditch. Unfortunately, that's where our nation is. We don't vote for people with brains. We vote for tribes and we vote for religions. That's all we do. 1,300,000 euro and millions of Ghana cedis. Next page. That's how much money was stolen. Now, during the same period, the pair allegedly stole personal effects from Madame Cecilia Abena Dapa, including assorted clothes valued at 95,000 Ghana cedis, handbags, perfumes, and jewelry valued at 95,000 American dollars. Further accusations involve Patience acting alone to steal 6 pieces of kente cloth worth 90,000 American dollars and 6 sets of men's shoes valued at 3,000 US dollars. Jesus have mercy, which belonged to the minister's husband. The court also charged 3 additional individuals in connection with the thefts. Dash. When you read the story further, it said the 2 house helps who stole the money, they used that to rent a place where they could go and live if Madame got to catch them or at a certain point. They also opened shops in Tamale and other places where they could go and continue their lives, selling whatever. Again, when the matter went to court, more came out. Do you know that all this money was kept in the minister's room? How did the minister get to catch them? The husband returned home one day. Listen attentively. And when he came, unannounced, he walked into the house, Nicodemously, and he realized that his bedroom where the money was kept was opened. But he had the key in his pocket. Who opened it? When he went in there, after hearing some noise, he saw that one of the house helps was there. How did you enter here? He realized it was a duplicated key, master key, that she used to enter there. And interestingly, having stolen all this money, 1 million American dollars, 300,000 euros, the minister never knew that any money was stolen. The minister never knew. It's like when you have so much and people are stealing from you, you don't get to know. After all, it's still there. She never got to know till the husband caught the girl. My brother, this is money in hard foreign currency. 1 million American dollars. This woman is taking the people's money, apparently, allegedly. Yet the hard-working Ghanaian old men and women who gave their money to the government to do business and needed their monies back. Government said it had no money. Yet one government official could boast of how much? 1 million American dollars plus 300,000 euros plus millions of Ghana cedis all in one house. They collapsed all the banks. They don't have faith in the banks. And now they are keeping all the money there in their own homes. Now, do you see? This is your dirty government. Mahama saw this morning when he woke up and saw the news. And the first thing he did was to tweet. This was what Mahama tweeted. Watch it. He said, hey, 1 million American dollars plus 300,000 euros and millions of Ghana cedis in a Ghanaian minister's home. Scandalous. Even if genuinely acquired, why keep millions of hard currency at home? Will Nana Akufo-Addo ever set a good example for public office holders in his administration? No, he's too old to think. Too old. He himself is thinking about his retirement. This was what Mahama put out. But another well-meaning Ghanaian also dropped one which you need to see. Beatrice Annan. How many of us know Beatrice Annan? Do you know Beatrice Annan? That's it. You know her, right? This is what she also put out. Nana Addo's minister Cecilia Dapa kept more than 16 million Ghana cedis at home. She converted all the money into Ghana cedis. At home. And the money has been stolen by her domestic workers. While those who kept their monies at the bank legally are receiving haircuts, unprofessional haircuts, top your jaw. This is how karma will pay those who gang rape this nation. These are all nation rapists. Beatrice Annan goes ahead to say, in fact, the interesting thing was that she didn't even notice that all the millions were being stolen within a space of 1 year until she caught one of the workers in the act. I can imagine how much she has at home that she couldn't even notice that 16 million Ghana cedis was missing. We just said it. She didn't even know. That means the money eguho. If one minister, and she's the minister of sanitary and whatever, has this, how about some other people? This is the minister. How about this guy? If this woman can have more than 16 million Ghana cedis in her home, minister of sanitation, how about this guy who is very close to the president? Can we imagine how much he would have in his bedroom? Can you? How about this guy? Asante Bediatio. How about him? Boga no. How about him? If Minister of Sanitation in Nana Akufo-Addo's dirty criminal government can have this, how about Bosu? How about Lenche himself? How about Lenche himself? The man who says he doesn't need any salary from Ghana. He has his own money, just wants to save. Such nation rapists. Dodo? This is where the nation has reached. Posterity will will judge some people harshly. Satan will sodomize all these guys in hell, one after the other. Painful sodomization. When we return, we will be reading your messages. Until then, share the broadcast. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot, Kuku show man. Ghana, your beloved country.
Amotia Cromford, Chilo. Vote for me. Oh my Ghana, vote for me.
To be honest, that question sort of reminds me of when Okonfo Kwade said, teacher, me I mean myself, meaning I'm here. What do you mean by myself? Write about myself. I mean, to be honest, the thing is, I don't think words, there can ever be good enough words to describe a human being. But you know, I will attempt to answer this by saying that I am someone who believes in the divine and the expression of His excellence in human beings. So I believe that we are all capable of higher and greater things, and I live to try and convey that message that, you know, hey, you are probably bigger than who you think you are. You can do more than who you think you are, you know, and that's what I live for. That's who Afro Jesus is, in the nutshell, yeah. Yeah, that spans from what I've just said. You know, I hope that my music inspires individuality, because I think that in our attempt as human beings to construct and build, we've sort of tried by way of ideas, imagination, try to sew uniform for everybody to look a certain way, think a certain way. But I think we don't come out our best that way. So my music and everything I do is to try and direct people back to themselves, to go and discover themselves and know who they really are and what they're about. And that's what my music inspires. So I don't necessarily coin my music into reggae, Afrobeat and stuff like that. All those are labels and styles that I can express my music in. But the key thing, the underlining thing when it comes to my music is my message. I was listening to an interview on Joy FM, and a 65-year-old was reacting to what was going to happen to his bonds, basically his pensions, funds that he has invested into government bonds. And it hit me. You know, I've never really talked about politics in my music, and not publicly, you know, but I think we're at a time in Ghana where we've hit rock bottom in terms of corruption, in terms of mismanagement, in terms of thievery, and I mean, you can think of the worst. And it was what you hear in the music. It was the emotion that was going through my mind and heart, and that is what. So I wrote the song actually in 2 hours. You know, I had the man's story, I got a beat the following day, and because I was still in that mental space, you know, penning the music just came to me that easily. Yeah.
It is what it is, no matter how you pray.
Yeah, it's available on all platforms, iTunes, YouTube, and you know, I think Audio Mac is yet to be on Audio Mac, but that will be there soon. But apart from Audio Mac, Boomplay, everywhere. I am. If you visit my page, especially my Facebook page, I'll be active more on all the other pages, all the other what you call it, social media pages. But I'm more on Facebook now. If you go on my page, there's a number you can contact, and yes, if the purpose for the concert or whatever is being done is in sync with what I do, I'm more than happy to perform. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. And the song, because I believe reflects the emotions and frustrations that people have been going through, the reception has been warm. I mean, equally, there's been lots of criticisms as well. And because of how we are programmed as Ghanaians, I understand, you know, we've been taught to be nice, to be polite all the time. But I think being nice is good, but you have to be just, you know, give respect where respect is due. But when people misbehave, let them know so. And that's how I live, you know. And so the ones that I think I was rude to the president and so on and so forth, I think he deserves way beyond those words, you understand, to the extent that when we are going through this difficulty, you go to the extent of taking the monies of people who have worked years, basically the vulnerable in our society, and try to take money from them to solve. If you can't support them, you leave them alone. So, you know, I'm not that type. I'm not that kind. I'm not going to see someone behave stupidly and speak otherwise. You know, stupidity or folly has no regards for age. A young person can be stupid, so does a grown-up person, and that does not excuse your rank, your position, or your age does not excuse us from telling you what you're doing is not right, especially when we voted for you to be in office to serve us. Then you openly disrespect us and show us that openly that you are here to serve your belly. You know, unless he's out here for revenge, what the president is doing now is way off the charts in terms of corruption. We've never experienced, I mean, we've been a corrupt society for a very long time. We've had corrupt politicians, but to this extent, this is a whole new level. And we are not going to be quiet. We will speak out. I mean, the rest, if you want to be quiet, please be quiet. But for us, keep that advice. Keep that your politeness to your own politeness. You can polite in your bedroom. We are not politing in this mess. We will say things as they are. Thank you.
Straight to the point, 9/11. There's no need, sir, not to stop it. Follow me, talk, go on, skip a judge.
Blackpot. Kuku show them.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show, number where we speak truth to power. That's Afro Jesus. You heard his music. The Tiko no Adwimbianim. Our politicians are behaving as if they have no brains. He granted this beautiful interview to us. I want to thank him so much. Check out his music. It's all about the nation. He's talking about Ghana. Anyway, let your messages flow. Let's look at them. We have about 150 people watching us right now on YouTube alone. All right, we appreciate you. And remember to share the broadcast. Abibu Muhammad said, greetings, more fire, Black Rasta. We are on. Ekene Okoli says, Black Rasta, more blessings to you and your household for opening the eyes of the youth and also speaking truth to power. So much love and respect. More love, Ekene. Ekene should be somebody from Nigeria. Big up Nigeria. Love you, Nigeria. Fenway says, we'll miss you this weekend. Can't wait for Monday already. Love you, brethren. We're going to miss you too. Joe Emmanuel Nkrumah has come back and he says, I think as a nation we are doomed because not only are our leaders insensitive, but our silence complicit makes our doom forthcoming. I greet you, Blakk, and thanks for your teachings. Blessed love, thank you so much for your very witty contributions as well. This Kusi Boateng should be behind bars in a sane country. So shameful. How about Abinadapa? We are waiting to see what Nana Akufo-Addo will do. Is she going to resign? Will she resign and be behind bars? I don't want to prejudice anything. The courts are going to deal with this and we'll see where I go on. Sheriff Ibrahim says, beautiful outfit. Blakk, watching you live. Yeah, this is from Juju. Thank you so much for this beautiful outfit. It says, Benjamin Kwanzaa says, this is the Blakk Port. Run the story. Come here. Watch me. Dash it out. You think, say you day wise. Blakk Rasta, ever since I started watching you, I have rewound my mind from the dirty politicians. Thank you so much for that. And this is Kudus. And he says, I love this show. Thank you so much, Kudus. He's reaching us all the way from Connecticut in America. Joe Emmanuel Nkrumah says, if such a character were a rep of God, then this God must be a filthy one. Remember, it is written, light has nothing to do with darkness, and one needs to purge himself before talking to Yahweh. Well, God gives people gifts. God actually brings people who are dirty, and he cleans them. And once he cleans you, you are going to respond to him with the gifts that he gives you, an account for every little thing. J. Coleman says, respect Blakk Rasta. Eric Jansi says, skipper down, Ras. All right. And J. Coleman says, under Nana Akufo-Addo's government, no wrongdoing is wrong. A minister with $1 million in her bedroom, and she still has a job. GRA needs to arrest her for unreported income. This is terrible. Scandalous. Sweet Smile says, this loot and share government has nothing good to offer Ghana. The minister should have been picked up for questioning long ago. But here in Ghana, nothing would happen to her. God save Ghana. And this is from Rahman in Tamale. Big up yourself, Rahman. And Paul Skimo says, Blakk Rasta more fire. Gladys Clark says, Blakk Rasta, we have to remember you in our prayers. I also remember you in prayers. We are in it together. Eric Jansi says, Secretary of the Demonic Cathedral, Kobna Edu Jemfi, a.k.a. Victor Kusi Boateng. Benjamin Achu says, word. Benjamin, my brother, trust me, most of the time I cried because this bozos run Ghana. Amanda Shevchenko says, Blakk, we don't have leaders in this country, but we rather have rulers. Oh yes. Jidefo Do Chibli says a whole minister has about $1.4 million just in her house. Even in America, you can't buy such stuff with physical cash unless it's liquefied or you'll be flagged. Steve Blaze says, God have mercy, Ghanaians. This is what it is. Well, my name is Blakk Rasta. Let's look at a quick one. Very quick. Next story. And what is the next story saying? Quick. It says what? It says Ghanaians are corrupt, not only politicians. That's true. That's what we've been talking about all this while. It's not only politicians who are corrupt. Some of the people are even making the politicians more corrupt. You know they are stealing the money for you, yet you go and take it and praise them and say they are doing a good job. Run the story. Quick. We need to run it very fast. Ghanaians corrupt, but only politicians blamed. And this is from the PNC. This is the General Secretary. She's called Janet Nabia, right? Run the story. The The politician is often cited for corruption, although Ghanaians are generally corrupt. The People's National Convention has observed, speaking at the second biennial conference of the Evangelical Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Medina Zone, on the theme, Revive Us Again, O Lord, Heal and Restore Charities. The PNC's General Secretary, Janet Nabia, said, according to the 2021 Population and Housing Census, 71% of Ghana's population are Christian. And so, if we treat each other fairly and act morally, no politician will be able to engage in corruption in the nation. Ghanaians are corrupt, she asserted, adding that it contributes to the widespread corruption. However, only the politician is observed since he is in the spotlight. Dash. So you see, if Ghana is 71% Christian, then Christianity has failed in Ghana. When it comes to corruption, 71% of Ghanaians are Christians, and yet we have this level of corruption. Our president is a Christian, Israel going Christian, pilgrimage going Christian. This is what we are seeing. The least said about this, the better. Dash it and bring me the last story. Today we're running very fast, you know. SARK. Why? SARK got granted an interview in America. And the one interviewing him said, I'm surprised you responded to Yvonne Nelson. Why did you do that? And Sarkodia had an answer. I wanted to listen to this quickly, and then we'll go into action. Run the story.
Now, let's get into the meat of this. Because the most recent song you put out is called Try Me.
Try Me.
I cannot believe you did that, because I feel like you try your hardest to not engage in like even doing press, you know, and keeping, and you've even said that you like to keep your personal life separate from you as an artist. But in this particular situation, you've had to address things that have been said about you, right? And so what was your decision in making this song? People are calling it a diss song, but I feel, and it is harsh, I'll say that, because it hurt my heart when I was like, ooh, I would hate for somebody to, I would not want to go back and forth with SARK on a situation like this. But what made you decide this was the move that you were going to make as far as addressing, you know, this book where it was referenced you had made a woman have an abortion?
To be very honest, it's a sensitive conversation that the reason why I didn't do no media run or press around it is because I know I might lose how I would like to present what I feel about it. So normally, this is not the first time I've done records to address certain issue, or maybe a line or two in a record, just to, because I don't know, there's certain energy I hate to feed into, especially speaking about it, because I might lose my cool. So with this situation, yes, exactly. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super proud of everything. It's just in the moment how I felt, whether it be my truth, there should have been a way that you could have said it. That's why I don't like to speak about it, because this is a conversation between two people, but then we could have a conversation if you want to talk about it, because it involves me as well.
Right.
But because people know the SARK doesn't speak, you know, people think they can say something and no, SARK is not going to speak, and then it's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
You know, so once in a while, you know, you just
let them poke the bear. Yeah.
Exactly.
Poke the bear.
So,
and because I'm the same way. If people talk crazy about me, I don't like to address things because I feel like it gives it way more life.
Exactly.
And I see people do it all the time. And instead of me engaging in a back and forth, I'm like, you know what? Go ahead. I'm going to just keep on doing my thing and not let anybody knock me off my square.
True.
But this time you said, you not only, it wasn't a line or two. I mean, so I want to know.
the whole record.
Who did you let hear this first? Was anybody in the studio with you when you did this?
That's what's funny. I
Please.
did not. My team is here. They're all like, people think my team is in support of what I did or the record. None of them knew I did the record, because I was on tour. I'm actually on tour when it happened.
Yes.
So, and sometimes when I feel something, then the lyrics is going to come right there and then. So I sneaked into the studio to even record this. I didn't let nobody hear it, because I didn't want to hear no advice.
Right.
I just literally want to do what I felt at that point. And face the consequences later on. But it wasn't like the whole team sat down and said, this is good to go. I did it personally for myself.
They probably was like, what are you doing? I can imagine those phone calls and text messages.
a lot of phone calls. So in the heat of the moment, the person that I didn't hear from, which normally she would have.
That's it. All right, so that's Sarko they're talking. He said he went into the studio and recorded. He didn't want anybody to advise him or stop him from doing it. So he's taking responsibility. His team didn't even know that. He premeditated it, recorded it. Then at the end of the day, he says, oh, he wanted to keep it. You recorded it, you want to keep it? And then somebody leaked it. We are not children. Also, if you are taking full responsibility, take full responsibility. You recorded it premeditatedly and sent it out. Don't come and tell us somebody leaked it. And then because you realize that it was leaked, you decided that, okay, well, it should go. Does it make sense? Why don't you pull it down? At least you could have taken an action to let the whole world know that, well, you didn't really want to put it out. It was leaked, so pull it down. So pull it down. People do that. Yes, other people would have had it, but at least officially, you made steps, took steps to bring down this. My brother, face the bull by the horn. You did it. That's what you did. So take responsibility, full responsibility. Don't try to play diplomacy and all that. You understand? Let us be men and take it up any which way. We'll take the last messages and we're done. All right. So Jidefo, Dodo Chibli says, I will repeat, Mohammed's government was corrupt, but Akufo-Addo's own is 10 million times worse. Marcus Ekwiyamwa says, Vicky Hammer. Of course. Did you find her photo? Yeah, Vicky Hammer was the person I was talking about. Stephen Banda. Blakk, you are too much. Come here. Banda says, I cannot stop watching you from Bloemfontein in South Africa with my son, Roxen. He said, come here. All right, man, blessed love. Abibu Mohammed says, fire. Martin Akea says, these guys are the worst in Ghana. So shameful. That's correct. And of course, Jidafu says, I will repeat, Mohammed's government was corrupt, but of course, this one is a million times more. This looks like a repeat. Do you have any more? Ara Sweet Smile says, the loot and share government has nothing good to offer Ghana. The minister should have been picked up for questioning long ago. But here in Ghana, nothing would happen to her. So sad. Gladys Clark says, hey, this is Christian Golly. And Joe Emmanuel Nkrumah says, which civil country would keep a minister at post when she kept $2 million in their homes without justifying how those monies were acquired? And in any case, did she pay tax on that amount? Judith says, let's something is bigger than GBC. I swear, well, I don't really know what that is. I am very proud of these house helps that they've stolen from the woman. Well, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Do not be proud of them. 2 wrongs don't make a right. They were able to blow up the story, fine, but the stealing in any case is not good. Beta Multimedia says, hey, is it Brighter? Yes, Bright Multimedia says, teach them, Blakk Rasta, teach them. Marcus Godson says, big up pan your property. Blakk Rasta, watching you live from Colorado. Can't wait to meet you. Yes, soon. Shelley says, good to listen to you again. Thank you so much, Shelley. She's all the way in Texas. Eric Johnson says they knew he was a criminal before giving him a diplomatic passport and enjoyed all the courtesy it comes with. Yes, they knew. Solomon Nimakun, I say, fire can done. Fire born heathen and sheathen. Talk wisdom to the people. Marcus Godson says, anytime you take the charge of the airwaves, my lord, Awoli Patenagwan. All right, and this is Dodujidefo says, Mr. Blakk, greetings, and they have more than what Ghana needs. All right, well, and then who is this Bantase? Yes, Bantase Abdul Latif says, Assalamu alaikum, Blakk Rasta. I am watching you all the way from Saudi Arabia. That's Arabia, that's right. May Almighty Allah bless and guide you, Blakk Rasta. Keep the fire burning. Bless the Lord will keep the fire blazing. Steve Blaze says, God have mercy on Ghanaians. And of course, Stephen Banda says, Blakk, please take heart. Please, Blackport, too much. Thank you. Fenway says, for me, this minister scandal has literally sealed the fate in the next election. So shameful and disgraceful. You'll be shocked that people will still run after Baumia and all those crooks. That's what it is. We didn't end that. Did we end that last one? Did we end it? No, it wasn't ended. It says, It says this woman should be arrested and investigated as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Next one. Quick. It says Frederick Chanu says money changes everything. Oh yes, they will buy votes in the next election and everything will change and the country will go down. Francis Ampim says Black Rasta, congratulations. I say, when our pastors too are in the same soup, what are we? Well, check it well. And then William Carp says, we love you. Educated, intelligent mind. Thank you so much. I love you too. Emmanuel says, respect Blakk. Love and respect every time. Joe Emmanuel says, this guy is an arrogant guy, pampered by whack pundits. He is now exhibiting his true colors. Well, what you're saying is nothing but the truth. And of course, this one says, come here, dash. I love you, sir. I love you too. Amali for Richard says, he's SARK. Think say he day wise. Well. SARK talked before thinking. Well. I want to say thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Remember, we are supported by Is-It. Come here. Supported by Is-It. Remember to download the app from Google Play and App Store. And of course, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Blakk Empire Media. Blakk is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Click on the notification button so that certainly when we come on, you will get to see us. Our next date is on Monday at 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. sharp Ghana time. We never take you for granted. Your time is very precious to us, and we will never waste your time. Help so that we can build a better nation, a better Africa. Until I catch you again, God bless you. Wayo!